Better put on the camera. A good start. I was wondering what's happened there. There's a blank screen. So today we'll talk a little bit about energy, vibration, and consciousness. Energy is what you hold in your body, or what you want, or would you give it away for free? Would you give away your money for free? Would you give away blood for free? Because everything is energy. We get our energy from the sun. We get our energy from the earth, the ground. So if you have a grounding mat, or you have a tree or an environment where you can sit around, you get your energy from that. But what does the media say? You get your energy from exercise. You're actually giving away your energy. So I'll explain to you in a logical manner. Because people have lost the ability to come from the prefrontal cortex, which is the front of the brain. The thinking, as a man thinketh, so I am. So when you think and you believe in something, you will resonate with the truth. And most people in an education system go and they believe in this and they don't work outside that doctrine. And they are coming from the limbic brain because it's always fight or flight. Fight or flight. So let's bring in energy into it. When we work on an energetic frequency, i.e., when you exercise, it gives off a certain vibration based on the Hawkins scale, levels of consciousness. So when you exercise, i.e., when you go to the gym, you have a frequency of 260, which is neutrality, which is an endorphin rush. When you go for a run, the endorphins are higher because you're actually overstimulating the nervous system in the short term. Now, the reason why this is short term, because long term you never reach your goals. When I first met my mentor in 2019, I met him online 2017, did his courses online, and then met him in America. And he looked at me and he said three things. Ron, you've been training people wrong all your life. Well, I've just been following what the books have said. Yeah, but you're reading the wrong books. Okay, that's the first uppercut. Second uppercut was, you've got the worst set of kyphotic shoulders I've ever seen, which is internally retreated through the chest, where people go at the gym and they bench press and they only reach a certain level and they can't bench press anymore because the back of the body isn't functioning. So I'm not going to bamboozle you with muscles because that's bullshit. Front of the body, back of the body, shoulders, chest, biceps, triceps. None of this little shitty small muscles that nobody really knows how to work anyway because they're so detached from themselves. And then he said, so what are you going to do about it? So it's three things. You got the worst set of kyphotic shoulders, you've been training people wrong all your life, and what are you going to do about it? So I had to ride an emotional wave because I could have turned around in my ego and said, fuck you. Who the fuck are you? But he's trained 10,000 athletes, so I'm not going to argue with him. But he only put me in a level or an understanding where the carrot and the stick. If you want more, you have to learn more from my program. And I goes, well, that's some bullshit. Because when I went to Salt Lake City and when I was starting to explain my journey and the 22 injuries I had in my body, and I didn't understand why they were happening, and he was giving me a smooth picture. It didn't give me the bigger picture. And he said, stay away from the Eastern philosophies. And I went, okay, what's happening in the East then? The answers are in the East. The West is where you make the money. So when I first came, and when I first, let's say, started on this journey, I was exercising based on my emotions. So I was running away from the problems I had in my childhood and from the issues that I was creating in my childhood and up to an early adult until I decided, okay, enough's enough. I'm going to change the way I look at things. So going back to the Hawkins scale, so 260 is neutrality. So let's say you wake up and you're in a bad mood, or you have an argument with your wife, or you have an argument with your daughter or your son. You're looking for energy. You're looking for that endorphin rush. So you go to the gym and you go and you exercise, but you never reach your goal because after you exercise, you eat shit or you drink. Alcohol is the worst thing you can put in your body. Oh, it's only one glass, right? So I know a lot of people haven't had a drink for 13 years, but that's not. I'm not using that as any validation tool. But I know how alcohol works. I've seen so many friends kill themselves after a night out. Why? Because that's when the thoughts come in. That's when the negative thoughts come in. Oh, I'll have a beer. It's only one, then you have two. One beer is a consciousness of 400. One glass of wine is the same. But two glasses or two bottles of beer goes right down into shame. So everything can be measured on energy, vibration, and consciousness. And as I look around in this beautiful wooded area in Jakarta, I see a lot of people giving away energy, but it's all emotion based. And I look at the posture because posture is number one. How can you run when your head is leaning forward? How can you run when you are internally rotated through your legs, which is sexual abuse? How can you run when you're externally rotated through your legs? That's sexual abuse for a man. First one was sexual abuse for a woman, protecting herself, covering herself up. This is why the physical and the emotional body goes together. 80% of women have been sexually abused. 60% of men have been sexually abused. Now, sexual abuse doesn't mean penetration. It means something like, whoa, look at your boobs. Whoa, look at your willy. Your sister says that when you're in the bath or something. It's an invasion of privacy. It's a form of abuse, but it's still a trauma that's trapped in the body and it starts to come out because every time you're in a parasympathetic state, which is not fight or flight, which is not over exercising and overstimulating the nervous system, it's just walking or relaxing. These memories come up. Why do they come up? Oh, I need to go and see a mental health expert. Mental health is not mental health, it's emotional health. Because it's an emotion that is buried in you from your childhood and it comes up. And they want to put mental on it because they can put it related to the mind. Oh, my mind is playing up with me. It's just an excessive amount of thoughts going into your mind that you can't process. It's like having a computer with all that hard drive packed full of stuff that is no longer serving your purpose, but we still hold on to it because we can't empty our hard drive because we are creatures of habit. Now, you tell me any fitness program that's worked for you because I've bought a lot of shit. I tell you, in my day, I've been in this industry for like over 40 years, but there's one thing I never did. I didn't post every exercise I ever did on social media. I didn't use a tracking device. I've never used a tracking device because that didn't resonate with me. And now I find out why it didn't resonate with me. Because when you put a smartwatch, which is not fucking smart, it's a tracking device, and you put it over your governing meridian, which is on your wrist, it disrupts the magnetic field in your body. Why is it disrupting that? Because it's on a major meridian. I see a lot of fat people with smartwatches. It's not very smart. So can't be doing a right job. Oh, I can't wait to download this onto Strava and then put it onto social media and show everyone and get some self validation because I've done a workout. The people who do workouts are the people who don't talk about it. These are the real athletes. These are the 1%. And then the others are just like looking for the validation because they're running away from the emotion that they haven't processed in their body. So, what emotions are you holding on to? Do you think that alcohol is the answer? Because if it was, you would have a solution. Do you think food is the answer? Or a cup of coffee is the answer? Don't get me wrong, I do like my coffee. Um, but I have a. It's like everything, you have to find your way, you have to find your balance in life. What works for you or what doesn't work for you. But 2 cups of coffee works for me in a day, and never like coffee after like 12 o'clock midday. So everything I talk about is based on something that I've tried and tested. Because when my mentor said to me, one of my first mentors, he said, "Ron, you got the worst set of kyphotic shoulders. You've been training people wrong all your life, and what are you going to do about it?" I knew exactly what I was going to do about it, but I didn't post it on social media because people aren't ready for it. So I did 2 hours of stretching a day for 17 months. And I never went near a gym and I never went for a run. But I'm in the best shape of my life. And I'm still continuing that journey. But now I play 5 times a week racket sports, but I've got no pain in my body because I move the energy. As soon as I feel the discomfort, I move it because where your attention goes, i.e., if you have someone in your life like is giving you grief, which is usually heart related, you get some little fluctuations in your heart and you get some pain there or discomfort there. Oh fuck, I'm having a heart attack. Well, a heart attack, they won't give you a clue. You'll just fucking go to sleep and you won't wake up. But if you're exercising and drinking and then going out exercising again, you're on a slippery slope because alcohol causes inflammation in the body, inflammation in the brain, and then you've got all these sports drinks. And why do you think there's so much fucking injuries in sport? I spoke to a ex Brazilian football player who's living in Indonesia now, who's like bringing in players from overseas. And I said to him, I said, "Oh, so what injuries did you have?" He says, "Oh, towards the end of my career, left and right calf." Ah, okay. Men don't support you, the right side. Women don't support you, left side. So this is how the physical and emotional go together. Knees are stubbornness. Anyone who has knee problems, they're stubborn. They won't take advice. Anyone who have problems in their shoulders, again, stubbornness. Right side, stubbornness from advice taken from men. Left side, stubbornness taken from women. Why do you think there are so many physios? I think in 2019 there was 85,000 physios in the UK. So, sorry, 55,000 physios in the UK, 445,000 physical therapists in the US. 1 year later, there was 85,000 physios in the UK from 55 to that. That's 30,000 increase, and then there was 100,000 increase in the US. So 445,000 to 545,000. Now, if they were doing the fucking job, that would be less. I tried to bring this company called Zone 7 in Indonesia. They were working with Liverpool. When Liverpool went all that, like I think 60 odd games they played in the season, they were going for 4 trophies. And I says to the guy, Rich, I says, hey, so I saw your product. It can analyze the postures of players and can predict injuries in the body. Great product. But why it only works for one season? Oh, well, I says, I'm asking you a logical question. Why is it only working for one season? I says, you had it at Getafe, you had it in I says, I tell you, I'm fucking disappointed when you put it to Rangers when Steven Gerrard was there and fucking Celtic lost the 10 in a row, but that's beside the point. It's just a bit of fun. And I said, so why did Liverpool have 6 injuries in one season using Zone 7? The prior season they had 13 injuries. And then the following season they had 13 injuries again. Now if Zone 7 was working, which I believe it does, what happened? I don't know, Ron. It's like a great product. And And I says, let me tell you something. If you have on average 12 physios, 12 strength and conditioning coaches, and an elite football club, other services no longer required because you have lessened the risks of injuries. Yes. So who's self-sabotaging it? It's fucking corrupt. Now I will only speak the truth. Most people don't like the truth because it goes against their beliefs, it goes against their education. You know where the education is? The education is based on your research. You want to go a little bit deeper than that, it's a cosmic blueprint. Because when you're looking for a solution, you'll never get a solution running away from the problem. You'll get a solution in moments of silence, stillness, and solitude. Now, I don't need fucking AI to write shit for me. I need it to correct my sentences because my life's been a fucking sentence. But the only way you can get out of the fucking matrix, because let's say for what it is, you are being mind controlled. Every country has the frequency it deserves. I now know the reason why I couldn't live in the UK any longer. Because I didn't fucking resonate with that frequency. Doom and gloom, going to the pub. Oh, what a laugh we had. Fuck off. Wasted your life. And then you eat shit, you speak shit, and then you wake up and you go, oh, nice guy. Why are people against me? They're against you because they're controlling you. They're against you because they're a victim. A victim of the mind that they have created. A victim of the circumstances they sold their soul to. Now, 3 years ago, I was approached to buy this program, but to work for a certain family. But I said, sorry, that family doesn't resonate with me, and I'm not working with them. I would have been making £25,000 a week or dollars a week, but I had to sell my soul, and I wasn't going to do it because this thing that I have created is based on my experience. What I found out along the way is that if everyone who exercised, and I see this park and there's thousands of people fucking running through it, they would be in an ideal headspace. So we go back to the vibration. So they're running away from a lot of money, financial issues, health issues. They're starting to do things about health and start to be more concerned about what they're putting in their mouths finally. And then they go home and they smash the shit down their fucking mouths. And then they go down in a low frequency again because that's processed food. That's what you crave after exercise. So you go from being in fear, which is 100, and you go and exercise at the gym 250 or go for a run at 350. But funnily enough, all the Eastern philosophies of based around having a good headspace is mindfulness, is grounding, is meditation, is yoga. Yoga isn't yoga. Yoga isn't stretching. Yoga is self-empowerment, self-realization, karma yoga, releasing your past. I was a cunt in my past, and I'm not frightened to admit it. I did a lot of shit, but then I realized why I was doing it. I didn't realize really until 9 months ago when I was sexually abused. But I can talk about it because it's no big deal. But the talk therapists don't want you to talk about it because that's not healing, that's not self-empowering, that's not self-healing. Now, if you go a fucking therapist, I spoke to a guy, oh, I've got a really good therapist, I've been with him for 20 years. Are you fucking kidding me? So let's do the maths here. 20 years, let's say, paying fucking $100 a fucking session, let's say. You go once a month, so that's $1,200 a year. So you've spent over $120,000 on what? Still being trapped in your mind? Ah, fuck, it seems like a good investment. In fucking 3 sessions, you fucking clear your emotion. You would clear your trauma in three sessions. That's why I will only work with people for 3 sessions. There are 3 types of people showing up in your life just now. There's an asshole, and if you give him any of your energy, you'll become a victim. And then you've got a whinge hole. You've got a whinge hole that'll whinge, oh, I've tried this, I've tried that, doesn't work for me. I mean, you try it for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Is that all you did it for? Fucking took me 70 months to get to the position where I'm at, but that's not a fucking... I don't want a badge of honor for it. I don't want the conventional medal. I don't want the fucking Victoria Cross or anything like that. It's just tried and tested. So you've got an asshole, a windshield, and then you've got an asshole. An asshole will ask you questions. You'll give them advice. But when they become a windshield, you tap out of their energy because they're just looking for your energy. You can't help everyone. You can't save everyone. And if you think you can, you're a fucking idiot. Because I've tried to help assholes, wench holes, and some assholes, but they're only ever ready when they are an asshole, when they ask questions. So people can look at what you're doing, see what you're doing, but they have zero clue of what you really are doing. And that's what's not posted on social media. I don't say, oh, this is the workout I did today. I did 10,000 steps. And then you fucking went and smashed 20 fucking donuts. Oh, because I deserved it. So are you tired yet? Do you need to escape the zoo? Because you're living in a zoo. You're living in a fucking mind prison. Every country has the frequency it deserves. Currently, UK as a collective, it's about 270. So it's just bordering on neutrality, after neutrality. Because you can have a conversation now with someone, let's say, for example, you would have the COVID conversation. Now people say, yeah, I took the vaccine, but oh fuck, I wish I hadn't. So you could have an opinion about something and say, well, people then say their opinion, and you wouldn't argue about it because if you're arguing, you're an asshole because they've got a different opinion from you. So this is how you base your energy when you're talking to people. And I can quite easily tap out of people's energy. I don't know how many so-called, well, they're still friends in my mind, but I remember, well, he's still there, still alive, as far as I know. The first really good friend of mine, I was best man at his wedding. He was a hirer and firer in this corporate company, which he still is, I think, and chased all the material things. And every time I met him, he was happy showing everything. But in his head, he wasn't happy because he was never reaching his goals in the physical and the emotional side of things. And then I just said to him, I said, "You want help?" And he goes, "Yeah, Ron, I'm going to go all in." I goes, "Okay," but it took me 17 months to fix my posture. Might take you, yeah, a little bit less because I was a bit of an exercise demon, let's say. Um, and he said, "Okay." So after like 2 weeks, he said, "I don't like this." And I said, "Okay, you don't like it. What are you going to do?" Then he turned it around. He says, "Ron, when are you going to get a real job?" Okay. What's your opinion of a real job? Someone who's sick, someone who has manifested a disease in their body, or someone who has all the nice things but they're still not happy? Is that a real job? Because I'm happy. I don't have the world, but I get by. But I gave up everything in 2019 because I didn't take the vaccine because I didn't believe in it. And then another guy who I basically in 20 seconds I corrected his posture. He was so shocked. He had to go and look himself in the mirror. And then he still didn't believe in what I was doing, but that's okay. He's got more gadgets than the inspector. But anyway, he's still trying to find his way, still trying to find his path, still trying to work with his mental health. But really good heart. And I'm not judging anyone. I'm just viewing people from afar because I know that they'll be back. They'll be back when they're ready, but they're maybe not ready yet because they're still believing in the medical system, let's say. And I don't want to go down that route today because that's where the answers are, and that's where people are trapped because they believe in a doctor, they believe in someone with a white coat. They think they're Jesus, and the guy's going to say, okay, you take this magic pill, but everything is energy, vibration, and consciousness. You take a pill as a frequency of 125, which is desire. So if you go to a doctor with fear in your mind, which is 100, and he gives you a pill for depression or anxiety, whatever, 125, oh, I feel great. 3 months later, why is it 3 months later? Because the body starts to tell you. Your body is breaking down. You're starting to find the truth. You look, and you look, this pill's aren't fucking working. You get angry. 150 is anger. And then you go to the doctors again. This pill's not working. No, try this one. But in the meantime, you've taken a pill that's damaged fucking practically every organ in your body. If you look at the side effects of every pill that you take, there will be a side effect of an organ being damaged. And then over a period of time, if you keep on taking these pills, you keep on taking these pills, and you go to the psychiatrist and you're spending a lot of money, but hey, it's NHS, it's free. Let's clap for them. Get a fucking grip. Get a fucking grip. 7 years emotional wave is coming up to the end of COVID. Would you take another vaccine? Are you starting to listen to the truth? Disclosure is soon is upon us. Disclosure will be here. Disclosure movie. If you don't go and see that, then you're a fucking muggle. Disclosure is being released 2 weeks before in the UK, before any other country. Why in the UK? Because that is the lowest frequency. That is the fucking cesspit. That is the mind control, mind fuckery of secret societies, of the golden handshake guys, the Scottish Reich. You can't have one foot in the devil's playground and you have one foot in God's playground. You can't have it. So, irrespective of what you know about this society or what you think you know, just because they're mind swiping your heart, you know, a 33-degree Mason will, as part of his ranking, let's say, he has to recruit 7 people. 7 people with a heart. One guy approached me in Bali. Ron, you make a really good Mason. And I went, no, no. Why are you saying that? Yeah, because yeah. And I goes, they don't resonate with me. Because in my childhood, that's where it all began. Anyway, I could rant on all day, I could talk on all day, and I like to talk, but I like to talk logic, I like to talk sense. So I've written 3 books in the past 5 years. What have you done? It's not a competition. Posted your like workouts on social media or downloaded your uh, data on your Strava and said, look at me, I'm wonderful. Oh, I'm number 5. Oh, number 5. Fucking great. Pat yourself in the back if that's what you need. The first book, still not ready to be released. And I thought it would have been ready by now, but too many muggles. First book is What the Fuck Just Happened. The second book, because every time I explain things to people, they say that makes sense. So the second book is called That Makes Sense. And the third book, which is in the process, which is I like to write quotes every day. So as I'm standing here, I'm thinking about a quote. Are you in your head or are you in your heart? Because if you're in your head, you will be bitter and you will look for people's energy. But if you're in your heart, you just see the beauty around you. And all I am observing now are stray cats, birds, listening, chirping in the background, because that's where the connection is. Getting back to nature. Now that's a long-winded quote, but you can make something out of that. And so I am creating the final book in the trilogy is quotes for the day, quotes on consciousness, 365 of them. Because it took me 17 months to heal my body and my mind and my spirit, and I'm not going to let anyone take it away from me. But what I will do is have a conversation with someone when they're ready. So if you're ready for a conversation, I'm not going to judge you. I'm just going to question your knowledge. I'm just going to question your beliefs. It might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, but hey ho, that's how it used to be when science, religion, and philosophy was as one. And if you look at any of the high frequency books, the majority of them come from the East. The Vedas, the Gita, the Upanishads. But you've got the highest frequency, the highest. What is the country with the highest frequency in the world? Bet you wouldn't even guess it. UK is 270. That is neutrality. The US is 460, which is inner wisdom, because they still have a connection to the indigenous people and the mother nature. Pachamama. It's not father fucking God. It's not God is not a father. It's mother, father, God. And you are a son of God. And I'm not preaching to you about God. I'm preaching about you and what you want to preach to your children. Because when your children and your grandchildren turn around and say, "What did you do during COVID?" "Oh, I got scared. I got a vaccine." "Oh, what? Did you not stand up and like fight for our freedom?" Oh, let's talk about something else. That's your ego. I don't have a fucking ego anymore. I just get angry that people who think they know more. Inspiration is caught, not taught. Knowledge is gifted to you when you are quiet in your mind. You don't need a fucking university degree to show people how intelligent you are. If you don't have emotional intelligence, what good is your fucking IQ? I had a conversation with this fucking guy, more qualifications fucking after his name than anything. I fucking ran circles round him in fucking 5 minutes, and he said, "Oh, where do you get all this knowledge for?" I said, "Just get quiet for 20 minutes a day. I quiet my mind. I meditate." But it's 70 months, 70. Oh, but it doesn't work. I tried it. Oh, fucking hell. Uh, hey, in the 70 months, I've been meditating at least 20 minutes a day. I would say I've had 4 or 5 experience where I say, what the fuck was that? But what it's done is it's released, it's calmed me down, it's created an environment around me and people around me that you love having a conversation with. I don't talk to fucking muggles. I talk to people who astral travel, who have had outer body experiences, have had near death experiences, who fucking have been in spaceships, who have done this and done that, because that's what disclosure is. So I don't say, oh, I'm going out today and to meet Johnny at the pub and he's going to talk about football and he's going to talk about, oh, my pension and, uh, fucking get. Is that your life? What a fucking waste. We are fucking more conscious and highly evolved than you can ever imagine. The disconnection is social media. I was the same. People used to come and train with me. Oh, you're burning muscle underneath that. You're burning fat underneath that fat because your muscle is developing. Blah 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 blah. Muscle weighs heavier than fat. That's why you've gained weight. Fuck off. What a fucking joke that was. But people bought into that bullshit, and I was fucking guilty of spouting it because I was just part of the system. Remember the series The Biggest Loser? You know how they like to say things and it's right in your face? You're a loser. Biggest loser. Out of the 7 series, I don't know, fucking 30, 40 episodes a year, 7 years. Do the math, 210 episodes. One person actually was successful. So you've got 5, just say 5 people. So you've got about over 1,000 people taking part in that and only one person succeeded. Push, push, go hard, go hard, go hard, go home, go home. Starve yourself, starve yourself. Ah, fucking, how's that working for you? New Year's resolution. Okay, let's start again. 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Just happens to be Valentine's Day. Oh, don't worry, you look good, babe. Just here's a box of chocolates. I'll get fat again for summer. It's a fucking journey. And I tell you what, when I've done clearings with some people, hey Ron, I've done less exercise this week and I've released, not lost, I've released 6 kilos. What, in a week? Wow, well done. Must have been a really heavy emotion that was fixated to your stomach that caused the bloating and caused you overeat every time you exercise and maybe caused you to go into the fridge at night. You were just fueling the emotion. So every disease can be traced back to a childhood trauma, which is trapped in the tissues in your body, which is related to where you are holding trapped and stagnant energy. Now, as I say, I can go on and on and on, and I'm not going to go on anymore because it's coffee time. So, thank you for the people who viewed, and you know who you are, and I hope you got something out of it. And if you want to have a conversation at some period of time, you have access to my email, etc., etc., etc. And I'm looking forward to coming back to the UK. I will do. I will host a retreat in Devon and Cornwall, and then I'll venture up to Scotland. And if I do cross paths with you, I will listen. If you start whinging, I'm tapping out. But if you ask questions, quite happily answer your questions. and I'm no different from you are. The knowledge is out there. The knowledge is in a unique blueprint, which is up there in the ether. Tesla had it. Tesla talked about it, but the people who have this knowledge are too readily open to share. To share. So, tapping out. Have a great day.